happen overnight unless you're some crazy viral TikTok dancer. Like it's gonna be a process. It's gonna take a lot of steps, and you're gonna have to continuously just put in the work day in and day out and just be consistent over time.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of the AIM podcast. You've got Doug, you've got me, and we're here to bring you some straight fire to help you get out of this week and help you keep ambition in mind. Doug, welcome. So excited that we're back on this. Let's see what we got for him today, man.
Yeah, Justin, I'm pumped, man. This is a huge topic that I love because it's something I've really tried to stay consistent with throughout my life. And just jumping right in, today we're going to be talking about how life is a marathon and not a sprint. And we're going to talk about the different things you go through in life and how you can just kind of overcome that constant struggle of trying to make sure you're perfect in one day. It's a process. We got to understand everything builds on itself, and how to just overcome all that struggle, but just to make sure you're finding ways to be successful long term, and just having a vision for where you're headed and how you're going to get there.
Yeah, man. I think this aspect brings in an interesting point that a lot of people can beat themselves up emotionally because they're not reaching these big long-term goals, and they just can't really see how they're going to get to their goal, whatever it is, whatever your ambition is. I want to be as general as possible, but it's really a key to apply smaller breakdown little goals and reach those milestones, and then build onto those and to then reach this huge goal. Kind of a story I wanted to bring in that you probably know of, and these our listeners probably have heard of a lot, is when Captain Sullenberg landed the plane in the Hudson. But if you don't know the story, Captain Sullenberg was flying an airplane, and both engines went out because birds were caught in the engines, and his only option was to pretty much land this plane directly onto the Hudson River, which is not an easy thing to do. Air traffic said, come back. And he's like, no, we're losing altitude too fast. There's no way I can bring us back around. And he accomplished this incredible feat, this incredible thing. But it's not like on that day he said, I'm going to do this really cool thing just because I think it would be really cool. Or I'm going to do this really amazing thing because I think it's cool. Or if you want to learn how to play the guitar, I'm not just going to go pick up the guitar, learn everything I need to learn in a day, and then just go back into it and can play guitar as well as Judah can. There's no way. It was this relentless pursuit of this goal, this relentless pursuit of ruling his so-called realm day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, decade in, decade out. I mean, every day is the next day that you can become slightly better. It's that whole 1% rule, that compounding interest.
Yeah, Justin, I agree, man. And I think, one of the things you said, just being relentless, like you can't get discouraged. Whatever you set out to do, you just can't let, external factors bring you down. I was listening to a podcast the other day by Gary Vee, who's someone I really enjoy from a business standpoint, marketing. I think he's a genius. But he was talking about this pursuit of social media and how so many people get discouraged on social media because they're viewing their success in a metric world. They're trying to see how many likes, followers, and that's how they're gauging their success, instead of promoting some type of product, service, movement, and seeing how they can spread awareness instead of metric results. And I think that's so huge because so many people get discouraged when they don't see those results in their eyes. But at the end of the day, if they consistently pursue spreading awareness for something, then over time they're going to see way more success in whatever they're trying to promote. And I think, again, it just comes back to this idea that it's not going to happen overnight unless you're some crazy viral TikTok dancer. Like it's gonna be a process. It's gonna take a lot of steps, and you're gonna have to continuously just put in the work day in and day out and just be consistent over time.
To kind of dig a little deeper, I think, don't get me wrong, like Instagram, social media is an incredible platform, and that's what our entire movement is based off upon, and that allows us to be in contact with so many people, and so many people that we would not normally be able to get in contact with. But I think in our society today, there's this idea of an instant gratification society. Not saying that any of that is bad. Like, I want to go ahead and put that out there. I'm not saying that our society is going bad, But what I'm saying is sometimes people don't understand that you've got to just sit down, you've got to just put in the work and back up what you want to do in your life. I mean, just look at where we came from in AIM or where we plan on going. This is just the beginning of what we have planned for AIM. And I can't even fathom what we're going to reach and where we're going to go. But there's no way we could anticipate to have 30,000 followers in one week or 1 month. That would just be an insane thing. It's just relentlessly pursuing our goals, putting in the effort, putting in the work on the back end, and just preparing ourselves to move forward a little bit at a time every day. Rome wasn't built in a day. That's a big saying.
That's a huge saying, and that's great. You tie in the example with AIM, and I think this particular topic, Justin, is something that and to the listeners out there, but like this is something I personally need because I like the long-term vision and I get a plan, but I like to sprint. I like to accomplish. I like to get it done quick, and I think this is something you and Judah have done a tremendous job just helping me kind of not holding me back, but just helping me stay aligned and see the big picture and understanding how this is going to be a process day in, day out. But the key here is patience, man. You have to be patient. I think that's one of the lost values, lost virtues in our world right now is because, like you said, there's so much instant gratification. People get things at their fingertips. You have access to all these resources, and it's hard for people to just have patience and just literally just wait. And I think that's kind of the biggest problem we run into today is when people don't get exactly what they want. Their lack of patience, deters them or shuts them down from accomplishing that long-term goal. And so I think that's one of the things we can kind of unpack even more.
Yeah, that idea of patience kind of brings in a cool thing. Um, People that aren't patient aren't really truly understanding as well. And I think that patience helps you so much more in the long run than you can ever imagine. Even like if you're dealing with people that are different than you. And I think the key thing that AIM is we try to be an inclusive family of whoever wants to reach out or whoever wants to be a part of this. Like, just come on, let's bring you in. Let's do what we can do to help you be the best version of yourself. And not saying that all of our goals are completely the same. My goals aren't completely the same as your goals, Doug. And that's just who we are. But if you're patient with each other, you can work together to achieve even better things. I saw this in a TV show and it was really funny, and I thought it was a cool little analogy. But just like look at the way the Spice Girls happened. This is gonna be funny. You're gonna stick with this for a second. But look at the way what happened to the Spice Girls. When they broke up, they were just none of them. They wanted to do things on their own. They wanted to just go out and they wanted to just see if they could achieve what they had achieved together. But they weren't patient. They weren't time consuming, and they failed. But together, they were this absolute unit of an incredible band, and they worked so well to achieve it. I know that was kind of weird. We probably lost a few people, but maybe we gained a few other people with that analogy. But if you're able to just kind of work together with other people, and I think that's another aspect, is you can't expect everybody to be exactly where you want to go or exactly where they want to go right then and right there. If you work together and you're patient as well, you can achieve so much more.
Yeah, Justin, I agree, man. And that is a great example because I think again that's another, lost thing in our world right now is people there's a lot of competition. I think don't get me wrong, I'm an athlete. I love competition. I think it's a great thing, but sometimes competition drives people away from team-oriented practices. And again, I think, it all comes back to what your goals are and what truly motivates you. So if you have a goal you set out in the future you want to accomplish and you're motivated day in day out to accomplish that goal, you're going to have to be patient. It's a key ingredient. And so if you find yourself impatient, you're probably not that determined to accomplish that goal because you need to understand that this is a key element of this process. It's not something you can skip, and that's just the way life works. You have to understand that, and there's not a whole lot of ways of going around that. But I think getting that in your mindset is going to be crucial for really maintaining and achieving that success.
Yeah. Back onto this whole idea of like with the social media stuff is it provides you such a resource basis to get into. And I know for me, you can kind of get into it as well, but you'll see these like, I love CrossFit and that's like kind of my thing is I'm just really into that and kind of working out. And it's just a good thing to kind of get into. And then that you combine that with physical therapy and it's just a whole big realm of goodness. But you see these like athletes and you're like, man, that person's so much stronger than me, or that person's so much bigger than me, or that person's so much faster or better at this or better at that. And you can take that into any point of your life. That person's a better businessman than me. That business is growing better than ours. Whatever it is. And what you don't see is the just absolute dedication and work that's been put in before then. People say Instagram is a highlight reel. I'm not here to kind of nitpick that, but what I want to say is, like, you've got to work hard and be okay with not reaching your goal every day to just start to chip away at it. There are these workouts in CrossFit called chippers, and they're just big, long grind sessions. Pretty much, they're going to take 20 to 25, 30 minutes. And just like with a marathon, how do you keep moving through it? You just do one rep at a time, one step after another. Keep putting your foot forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And chipping, what a great segue into something I wanted to bring up. I don't know, Justin, I'm sure you've seen it. It's a very popular picture, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers have probably seen it. I'm gonna try my best to describe it. It's hard to describe something visually when they can't see this, but it's two small pictures, and it's two miners, and they're chasing these diamonds on the side of the picture, and one of them is just frantically just picking away, and he's got a lot left to dig before he hits the diamond. The goal is to get to the diamonds, and this other guy is literally so close to the diamonds, like literally probably one chip or two chips away, and he literally stops and turns around because he's discouraged. He didn't get his goal. And I just think it just comes back full circle. Like, if you chip away something, if you grind and you just don't give up, you're going to be successful. I don't care what anybody says. And the key, one of the biggest things we talked about in our Motivational Monday when we covered this topic is, like, look, the speed at which you move does not matter. The only thing that matters is not stopping. As long as you don't stop and you keep on moving, you're going to be successful. And that is the bottom line. It doesn't matter. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the strongest. But if you keep working, if you don't stop, you're going to find success. I promise.
That's some good stuff, man. Our head coach at our gym says this all the time, and he said it so many times that I feel like I can steal it and it can almost be my quote. But how would you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Like, how do you overcome this unsurmountable task that looks like there's no way you can ever get there? You just start working away. And that's what this idea, that's what you say. Like, this idea of chipping, you don't give up. Don't give up. Just one step at a time. And that's what I think it means that life is a marathon, not a sprint. If you do that sprint, you're going to wear out. You're going to burn out. But if you just keep chipping away one thing at a time, one little notch, one bite of that elephant at a time, you're eventually going to reach your goals.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think the crazy thing about one of the biggest things that deters people is just how busy this world is. And a lot of times you have to see the big picture, you have to see everything going on, but you got to put your head down and you got to be tunnel vision. You got to be able to block out. Like, it's got to be a mentality. It's got to be ambition in mind. Like, you've got to find ways to block everything else out. Okay, today I'm going to accomplish this. Tomorrow I'm going to accomplish that. And literally you just chip away and grind at that one thing, and you don't let all the noise, everything else going on kind of affect that process.
I think this is one of the most aligning podcast ideas that we've had, especially along with ambition in mind, because it's what our whole mindset is. It's what this whole movement's all about, is whatever you're trying to reach, whatever that is, you've got to move forward in life with it in mind. You've got to move forward in life with that thing in your focus. Just like you said, that tunnel vision. And that's the step you take today is going to be one more step that you can build upon tomorrow. Just like, and we've talked about some other things, building that foundation, you've got to build that up and then transfer over into the next stage. And I can't wait to see what everybody on here is going to accomplish if they can just take one step at a time, one day at a time, and move forward in whatever they're trying to reach.
I'm pumped, Justin, because I know, just with the timeline of everything, this has been a crazy year. I think, AIM's had tremendous success in getting off the ground, kind of looking at, late July, August, up till now. And, we're going to have a couple months here as we cap the year off to really plan and get ready for 2021. But I tell you what, just kind of for our listeners out there, our AIM team is working. Our head is down. We understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint, and we are going to be doing some huge things in 2021.
Doug, I think that's the best way I can put it. We're ready to go. We're ready to make this next step, transition to some really good stuff, guys. But we're taking it one step at a time. We're moving forward. We're not looking back. We're just headed in a direction. We can't wait to see where we're going to go. We can't wait to see where you guys are going to take us as well. Doug, anything else you got for him?
The only thing else is to tell them, I promise we're not going to stop. I'm not going to promise how fast we're going to go, but I promise we're not going to stop, and we're going to find success, and we're going to help a lot of people doing it.
Heck yeah, guys. Remember, don't stop, one step at a time. Keep that ambition in mind. Take all this and get after it this week. We're so excited for Doug, for the AIM team. This is Justin. Guys, have a great week and get after it. Let's go.